Hello, Lakers fans. This is Wilson. So, um, I'm just going to get right into it, man. Obviously, the big uh, breaking news story is that Jeanie Buss and the Buss family have sold their majority stake, their majority ownership in the Los Angeles Lakers to Mark Walter. Um, he is the CEO and chairman. I'm reading now from Shams's report. He's the CEO and the chairman of diversified holding company TWG Global, which has interests in multiple sports organizations, including the Dodgers. He's the primary owner of the Dodgers, also the Sparks, the Billie Jean Cup, Cadillac Formula One, and the Professional Women's Hockey League. He already had a 20% minority ownership, but now he'll be the principal owner of the Lakers with a majority stake. And the sale is at a valuation of approximately $10 billion. And it will mark the largest ever sale of a U.S. professional sports team. Um, Now, Forbes, uh, number one, Mark Walter, according to Forbes in February of 2025, had a net worth of $6.1 billion. But so it's not Walter himself. I mean, if the Lakers sold for $10 billion, or he's paying $10 billion for them, that means it's the company that's buying it more so than him. But he's the chairman of the company, so he's he's the owner. Um, and what's interesting about that is that uh, also Forbes. So in that was February 2025. They listed Walter's net worth at $6.1 billion. In December of 2024, because Forbes every year they do an annual ranking of the most valuable sports franchises. They have the Lakers worth 7.1 billion, um, and yet they sold for 10 billion. So basically, we can say that Walter sold. I mean, what is that? I don't know, 30%. I don't know. I'm not a I'm not a mathematician. What is that? A 30% upcharge? Was that what you would call it? Basically, you paid a tax. And what I was, of course, my initial reaction as a sentimental nostalgist, it was, I was saddened because, um, the Lakers have been in the Buss family since 1979. Dr. Buss, the great um, patriarch of the Lakers, he purchased the team from Jack Kent Cooke in 1979 for $67.5 million. A transaction that also included the Kings in the Forum. And of course, Dr. Buss died in 2012 or 2013. And what the Lakers accomplished in his tenure as the owner, so from 1979 to, let me see what the exact year was. I think it was 2012 or 2013. It was February. Dr. Buss died February 18th, 2013. They won 10 championships in that tenure. 5 during the Showtime era and with Magic and Kareem and Riley, and 5 during the Kobe era with Phil, uh, Shaq the first 3, and then the last two Kobe championship teams with Gasol and those guys. And then by Dr. Buss passes, and since then they've only won one, which is the 2020, the COVID year, right? So in total, that's was that 79 through 2025? That's what 46 years the Lakers have owned the Lakers. I'm sorry that the Buss family has owned the Lakers. That the Lakers have been in the Buss family, and that's 11 championships total. They made the finals 9 times with Magic, 7 times with Kobe, and then once with LeBron. So that's 17 times they made the finals in 46 years, 11 championships. And by far the most successful American sports franchise during that period, right? In the last 50 years, and it's really not even close. I mean, who else has won? Since 1979. I mean, there's not. I mean, shoot, the Bulls have the second most. They won six at one time, right? Uh, the Patriots won six. 49ers. Nobody really even close to the Lakers in terms of success. If you just look at it as far as championships go, and then all like I said, even 17 finals appearances. So six times they made the finals and didn't win it. And that was the period basically when the Lakers became the Lakers as we know them. Before that, the Lakers were uh, in the '70s, right? So of course, Lakers start out in Minneapolis, and then they go to they moved to LA. I think the first year was 1960, right? That was the first season. I think that was Jerry West's first season, and and then in the '70s, Jerry West had a I'm sorry, Jerry West had a great career, but they kept making the finals and losing to the Celtics. Finally, they win it in '72. But even at this point, in the '70s, you wouldn't have called. I mean, the biggest franchises in sports were the Yankees, and then in football, you had the Cowboys, you had the Steelers, you had the Packers. All of those franchises, you would say at that point, when Dr. Bus bought the team, they were, because baseball and football were bigger than basketball at that point in time. And so uh, when Dr. Bus bought the team, the Lakers, though they were in Los Angeles and they had a rich history up to that point with, obviously George Mikan, and then in LA, but, I guess Elgin played in Minneapolis too. I'm not sure. I'll check, but of course the LA Lakers, the Elgin Baylor and Dr. Buss, and I'm sorry, not Dr. Buss, Jerry West and Gail Goodrich, and then Kareem comes over in 1975, I think it was. Uh, so they already had a rich history, but you wouldn't say that they were, you wouldn't say that they were a you wouldn't call them a top. Like I said, they weren't on the very upper echelon of franchises. Um, and when Dr. Buss bought the team, what he brought, of course, that same summer, Magic Johnson, he comes along, and pretty much the rest is history. And really, it was Showtime that made the Lakers what they were. And then by the time Shaq and Kobe came along, now there are expectations to, what is the word, uh, re to reach that level of excellence again. And of course, the Lakers did that with Shaq and Kobe, and then, as I said, rounding it out with two more championships under Kobe. Uh, and so basically, man, Dr. Buss, what he did, not just for the Lakers, but for the NBA, of course, Jeff Pearlman, he wrote about it in his book, on the Lakers, um, about how when Dr. Buss bought the Lakers, how the NBA was, what it was like going to an NBA game, and then what it became when Dr. Buss, brought the entertainment aspect to the form, and made it an event. So even if you didn't really like the game, you come there. They got the Laker girls, they got the music, and then you got people, firing T-shirts into a cannon. So even if you're a little kid or you're somebody who doesn't really know or care what's going on the court like that, you can still be entertained and have a good time at the game. And the rest of the league followed suit. And that was really, if you could go back to when Dr. Buss bought the team, bought the Lakers. It's like the NBA as we know it today had kind of started then. And as I said, with me being a sentimental nostalgist, I was disappointed because I never wanted to see the day that the Lakers were owned by anybody other than the Buss family, because I don't know anything else. Like I said, I was born in 1988, so as long as I've been alive, the Lakers have owned uh, the Buss family has owned the Lakers, and that will be no more. Uh, and we'll see what happens. I know my buddy Sark, he already texted me about it, and he's happy. And I know a lot of Lakers fans will be happy because most Lakers fans, most people are not as sentimental as I am. Uh, they just want to win. They don't care who owns the team. They don't care who plays for the team really, unless it's that's just Kobe. They cared about Kobe. Anybody else, they don't. They never really. I guess Magic back in his time, but they don't. They don't. I mean, these fans today are a little bit more. I think a little bit more ruthless and cutthroat than when I was coming up. You know, they don't. I mean, perhaps it's just it takes multiple championships for um, teams that are used to or fan bases that are used to dominance to feel attached to the player, right? And it's just like, or similar. Like I was when the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau. I know he was a coach, but when the Knicks fired Tom Thibodeau, I was like, man, I know Knicks fans are going to be irate. And as it turned out, I mean, they appreciated what Thibodeau did, but they didn't really care. They only care, that the Knicks are in the best position to try to win the championship. And I think a lot of Lakers fans, that's how they feel about it. I was telling my grandmother about it, and she said, Jeanie, she said Jeanie wasn't doing a good job, and I think most Lakers fans so disrespected Jeanie. But I mean, she did what she could in her capacity. But basically, I mean, Jeanie Buss is someone who, I mean, she only has what her father did as a blueprint, and once they got LeBron, basically what they've been doing until the Luka trade, which just fell in their lap, but they were going to be content basically riding out LeBron's career, and they had AD also, and they were going to be content basically just having being able to have a team that had star power on it, even if they were consistently not on the very top tier. The Lakers historically, that has been the standard, but it hasn't really been the standard since Dr. Buss died, basically. But Jeanie was going to be content uh, just riding out these LeBron years uh, because she knows that if she didn't know anything else, she knew that her father valued star power. He felt like that was part of the deal. When you have a Magic Johnson, a Shaq, a Kobe, these superstars like that, that's what makes the Lakers the Lakers. Part is that they have superstars playing in Los Angeles, and then the Luka trade just falls in our lap, and that happened, and now just was February. This is what 4 months, 4.5 months later. Now the Lakers have new ownership, and it's something, man. But I think it's like I was disappointed in Jeanie, and then when I saw that she sold for $10 billion. Basically, Mark Walter made her an offer that she could not refuse because it's the largest sale. Let me see what uh, the previous largest sales of a sports team. Let me see here. Yeah, the Commanders sold for 6.05 billion in 2023. The record was recently surpassed by the Celtics, which sold for 6.1 billion. So basically, the Lakers just sold for 4 billion more than the previous team, right? Now, let me see this Forbes list. Uh, the last one, the Lakers were eighth. The Cowboys were first at 10 billion. Then it was the Warriors, the Rams, the Yankees, the Knicks, the Patriots, the Giants, and the Lakers. But I mean, it just goes to show, man, the Lakers are the Lakers, and especially I think with uh, with the sentimental value and with Jeanie and with the Lakers being in the Buss families for so long and what the Lakers meant to her dad, it wasn't it was gonna you were gonna have to overpay basically to to make this deal happen. She wasn't gonna let it go easily, And I just think that, like I said, man, she got an offer she couldn't refuse. Now, am I still disappointed? Yes, but I understand because $10 million is a lot of money, right? You have to remember that the Lakers were the Bus family business. That was something that was unique about the Lakers, is uh, that like I said, that the Lakers themselves were the business. And I think Dr. Bus was a real estate person. He bought the team based on that. But it's not like Mark Walter. He has this this company that's worth all these billions, and so he has a business outside of the Lakers, and now the Lakers become part of that business for him. Whereas for the Bus family, the Lakers were the business. So the Lakers weren't, although the franchise was worth as much as it was, uh, because it was the only business. Perhaps the Lakers, weren't as rich as you would actually, think with them being the Lakers, right? Or rather, I should say the Bus family wasn't as rich, maybe in like liquid assets as you would think. Um, but I think, yeah, man, it's like it's sad, and I know, like I said, a lot of Lakers fans will look and they'll go, Mark Walter, he has all this money. We see what he's done with the Dodgers and how aggressive the Dodgers have been in their approach going after World Series, and you got to think it'll be no different. Now, of course, the difference is that there is a salary cap in the NBA where there is not one in baseball. So, but you got to think the aggressive approach it will return in ways that it hasn't really been since Dr. Bus passed away. Um, but I don't know. It's uh, it's just a new day. It's a day that a lot of people, you know, if you were born in 1980 or after, you don't know the Lakers to be owned by anyone other than the Bus family. So uh, it's for me it's bitter. For some people, it'll be bittersweet, uh, and for some, it'll be just sweet. Um, but I think for most Lakers fans, they're just happy that we're gonna have an owner with deep pockets. We see what he's done with the Dodgers, and Jeanie has not been as aggressive as maybe her father was, um, and maybe it'll return to that now, and maybe the Lakers will once again start chasing success, like how the Warriors in Curry's prime, how they went after it. Maybe the Lakers will get back to that, you know. But yeah, like I said, man, it's just it's one hell of a day, man. Uh, and what the Lakers no longer no longer owned by the Best family, man. Um, now I want to. I'm trying to get to 30 minutes here. I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm trying to get to 30 minutes, and so I'm trying to stretch this out here. Uh, LeBron was on this podcast, and he was talking about ring culture and how he hates that it exists. Basically, he hates that if you don't win a championship, you're if you don't win a championship, you're like considered your career is considered like a failure or whatever. And he was naming these people, like how you gonna tell me that Charles Barkley and Steve Nash and guys like that just because they didn't win a ring that they weren't outstanding? How you gonna tell me that Barry Bonds is not the greatest baseball player who ever lived and he never won a World Series? And he said, you're going to tell me that Peyton Manning wasn't incredible just because he only won one Super Bowl and Tom Brady won 7, even though Manning actually won 2 Super Bowls, and LeBron shorted Manning on that. But I think that, and who was I listening to talk about it? Oh yeah, they had PK Subban. He was on First Take talking about it, and I was thinking to myself as he was talking, man, he's gonna get, he's about to be out of a job if he doesn't stop, because he was up there talking like he was on Twitter or something, on one of these podcasts or something. He was talking about LeBron and LeBron's mindset and LeBron's mentality. Uh, and I think he had a point. It's like the competitive, the mindset of a competitor, of a Kobe Bryant or a Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson. They judge themselves by championships. Um, Magic wanted more titles than Bird. Uh, Kobe was chasing Michael. Michael was the standard. You know, and I think in this era, uh, and it really kind of goes back to AAU and really when LeBron came in the league. Not to blame everything on LeBron, but that's when it started. These guys started. It was like you were friends off the court with the guys that you. I mean, I guess it was always like that, but the way these guys would hug and all this stuff, and it kind of took away from the competitive nature of the game. Whereas before you had Magic and Isaiah, they were friends off the court, but they were trying to kill each other on the court. Jordan was friends with Barkley and Ewing off the court, but on the court they were trying to kill each other. Um, Even if you go to Kobe's era, the way the Lakers and the Spurs and these teams, a lot of times these guys like the Lakers and the Kings. When Shaq called the Kings the Queens, there was bad blood there a little bit. That's what happens when you face the same team over and over again in the playoffs. And I think in this era, in this era of LeBron, it hasn't been like that, and I think it ties into something because Kevin Durant, he's getting ready to get, he'll be traded in the trade is imminent. I don't know who it'll be to, but it's supposed to be imminent. And I think he was saying something. Somebody was talking about it. He replied on Twitter, and he was talking about, well, whatever, like, bro, I did all this stuff since I, hurt since he came back from the injury or whatever. I don't remember exactly what he was saying. But basically, man, I think Kevin Durant is the type of person who basically, Durant's spirit is non-competitive. The way he looks at the game is not in terms of, well, I got to beat these guys. I want to be better than Curry. I want to be better than LeBron. I want to be greater than them. And I think that's why he went to the Warriors. And he said it himself, like, he didn't want to have to worry about being the leader. He just wanted to go and experience basically basketball nirvana, playing for a great team. But Kevin Durant was never the type of person who, I don't think Kevin Durant ever would have been the best. And he's almost 37 now, and people are still talking about him like I don't think Kevin Durant really at this point, like, what's his name, Rob Parker, likes to use the term NBA dead. I think Durant he's been at the point in his career where, I mean, even if no matter, it's like if like people say he might go to the Heat. If Durant goes to the Heat, what are they gonna do? Like he's still a great player, but he's reached a point in his career where he's no longer the type of piece that just by adding him to your team, you're a contender. And I know that the East is going to be weakened next year with Boston being without Tatum. So basically, you're looking, and then Milwaukee's going to trade Giannis, and so you're looking at, Indiana, the Knicks, the Magic. They made that trade for Desmond Bain. That's exactly what they expect them to take a step forward. You got Cleveland, but basically you have an East that'll be wide open next year, and I just don't. I mean, if Durant goes to Miami, bro, Kevin Durant is he's a lot more talented. Kevin Durant is the type of basketball player that it'd be pretty much like the type of basketball player that you would build in a lab, right? He's 6'10", smooth, can handle it, can shoot it. He can do it. I mean, he's pretty much, if you could design a basketball player from scratch, it would probably be something, it would look a lot like Kevin Durant. But if I were trying to win the championship, I know Miami traded uh, Jimmy, so he's not there anymore. But what Jimmy did with Miami, taking them to those two finals, I don't think Kevin Durant ever would have done that, even in his prime. So why would I think that he could do it now at almost 37 years old? It doesn't make any sense. And but I just think it goes to it's a mentality that you have to be the best player on a championship team. And I think Durant, for all his talent, he just doesn't have that sort of mentality, you know. And I think it's kind of much ado about nothing. Anywhere that he goes, wherever he ends up, excuse me, wherever he ends up, it's like he's been linked to the Knicks. He's been linked to the Spurs. You know, he was linked to Minnesota. I think they said that Minnesota tried to get him, but obviously he can't be the best player in the Heat. I don't even know if he's your. I mean, I don't know, bro. It's like if you just need him to be the guy that, like, let's say he was on Minnesota, right, and that man struggles, against defenses that trap him and try to force him to give the ball up, right, and then let's say you had Kevin Durant there, right, and he's somebody that even now he's just a walking bucket. Yeah, that could work. I could see that. But if you need Kevin Durant to be anything more than just just that, if you need any type of leadership, or you need him to be the person who, like, there's basically any pressure on, really, it's not going to work, especially now at his age with his injury history. It's just not going to happen, So, yeah, man, I think the Durant's talk, kind of like with LeBron. I know I was just giving LeBron props last week, saying he might still be a top 10 player, but these are guys that at this point in their career, they're not. I mean, it's Shay's time now. It's Joker's time. It's Luka's time. That's whose time it is right now. These guys, these older guys, they've had their. Curry is probably the closest thing at this point at his age to being somebody who could still be the best player on a championship team. Like, I could still see that, right? But anybody else in that age range, I don't think, and it shouldn't be expected. I mean, it's a young man's game. Everything is. So, yeah, man. Yeah, but what else? Either in the what else is going on? Yeah, the finals are 3-2. I think with Halliburton's injury, it said that Rick Carlos said they're preparing as if he's not going to play. He said he would play even if, as long as he could walk, he would play. He has that calf, we know that calf injury is tricky because a lot of times calf injuries can turn into Achilles injuries if they're not handled with care. Now, I don't remember when Durant tore his Achilles, was it the same leg or no? That he already had the calf strain on. That's what Halliburton has, the calf strain. But the thing is, it doesn't really matter because we know that overcompensation, I think it was the other calf that Durant tore. The other leg that Durant tore his Achilles on. But I think it's the there's overcompensation that when you have one injury and you're overcompensating for it, puts too much pressure on the other uh, leg, and then that leg will give out. So that's definitely, and Achilles is the worst injury you can have. So it's definitely one of those things where you want to watch that. I know it's the finals, um, but I think if it gives Indiana an excuse, right? Like if he doesn't play or if he plays and he's hobbled, they can say, well, if Howie hadn't strained his calf, we might have won it. And it sets up for OKC to go out there and take care of business and finish out the series and win the title. They win 68-14. They should win the title. They've had the best team all season. But we have to see if they have that killer instinct. A lot of times when it's your first time in this situation, a lot of times they have to learn how to. It's just like a predator, young in the animal kingdom. They have to learn how to kill. It's not something that they do naturally. It's something that they have to learn. And I think we'll have to see if OKC, if they already have that killer instinct or not. But I hope they close it out, man. It's better for OKC to go ahead and get it. Indiana winning really doesn't do anything for anybody except people in Indiana and Reggie Miller. What does it do for anybody else, right? But if the Thunder win, it's possible the start of a new dynasty the way that they're set up. All right, that's it. So before I get out of here, just a reminder to hit that subscribe button next to the Complete Podcast Network, and to follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at TC Pod Network. You can also send feedback and mailbag questions to Complete Lakers Podcast at gmail.com. I am out.